Here's a question for you. Do you think he could survive in the wild? Well, our next guest does it for a living. Les Survivorman Stroud joins us now. He's the author of the book, Will to Live, Dispatches from the Edge of Survival, and creator of the show Survivorman on the Discovery Channel. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
It's interesting. In the last week, I know you're busy promoting your brand new book, but a couple of our associates here at Fox News, Greg Palcott and Olaf Wiig, were taken by some bad guys over in Egypt, and they were blindfolded. All sorts of bad stuff happened to them. Here's a little soundbite about their will to live. Listen.
What kept you going? Was it sheer adrenaline, or did you have something in your mind saying, no, I can't let this be the last moments of my life because I've got this ahead of me?
Mostly adrenaline, but you know, I've got a lot to live for. I've got a beautiful wife and a loving family. I just want to get back.
You've been in perilous situations before. Is that accurate for you?
It's entirely accurate. The analogy transfers over very well to a lot of aspects of life. What those guys had to go through, what he was just talking about was motivation. And motivation takes a lot of different forms. And he's got the classic motivation. I've got a family to get back to. You know, motivation can be even hate. I want to get back to get at the guy who put me in this situation.
Sure.
There's a lot of different motivations for having a strong will to live and make it through something as horrific as what they had to go through.
But the interesting thing is you put yourself. You see, that's the difference. You put yourself in these situations. So the first question I have is why?
Yeah, I have that question too. Day 4 of every single time, I'm like, why am I here? I'm starving. I shouldn't be doing this for a living. Well, you know, for me, it was a matter of I was always an adventurer. I did adventures all around, and I was also a filmmaker and an entertainer. I did that, and at one point, I just put them all together. And when the original Survivor series hit big back in the year 2000, I thought, you know, I can show this right. I can go out and actually survive alone for 7 days, not have a camera crew or film crew, and say, well, you know, I'll bring you back a survival odyssey on film. So I just knew I could accomplish it. I was a filmmaker and a survival instructor. Could do both of them.
And you had to be tested. What about Bear Grylls? What's your problem with him? Bear?
I'm kidding. Yeah. What's my problem with him?
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with him.
What do you think about him?
I don't.
Okay.
Well, there was kind of an online spat where
it's been going on for years. The online spat.
That your fans say that you are a more authentic survivalist.
Yeah, and they're right. I mean, what I do for real. And what I've done, I've always done for real. I was the first guy to go out and do it. Nobody's done what I've done since then. Nobody goes out alone.
Right.
I mean, if you were out there for 3 days or even 7 hours without a single scrap of food or anything, and you got a camera group there with, you know, a chocolate bar and a sandwich, nobody's noble that they're going to sit through 7, 3, 4 days or whatever with the crew around and say, oh, no, I don't want to touch that. You know, the reality is that to really show survival, you know, I had to go out and do it alone.
You can't fake it.
You can't fake it. You got to go out. You got to go out and for what I was doing, trying to present this as an odyssey, was to be there and to suffer alone and film myself.
So
you get a real deal that way.
What can people learn from knowing about your episodes with Survivor?
Well, it runs the gamut from the pragmatic and practical to if you're an adventurer, you're an outdoor adventurer, you're going out, you're a camper, all that sort of stuff. You get all those skills that work exactly to that point, whether you're canoeing or hiking and backpacking. And then you can take it to the larger life lesson, you know, in terms of just being within yourself, being prepared, being ready for whatever's coming at you, whether it's a flood in New Orleans or a tornado or an earthquake, whatever, just knowing that, okay, I'm prepared, I'm ready for this stuff.
That's right. Interesting stuff. All right. So check out your TV show and the new book. Once again, it's called?
Well, Beyond Survival is still playing in repeats on the Discovery Channel, and the new book's called Will to Live.
All right, very good.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And you survived our couch.
So far.